Hi, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk News. I hope you all had a great day and I hope you all are able to find me because, as I said, Facebook has been doing some hinky things. And one of the things it has done, and I don't know if you all know this, is that it has stopped allowing people to tag other people. Such as I would be able to put up the show and tag all the followers to let them know that it was there, and now you can't do that anymore. Um, and that's fine. But for people who have shows like this, it that makes Facebook not exactly the best medium to deliver the message. But at any rate, one of you at least is here, and I'm going to guess it's my mother. No, it's not. It's Francine. Hello, Francine. Good to have you. I hope our friends get here soon and that we can have a great conversation. Tonight we're going to talk about Trump revoking visas for um, Somalians and for other, especially college visas. But for people from other countries who are um, celebrating political violence, i.e., the death of Charlie Kirk, or marching in these anti-Semitic marches, the Free Palestine people and those who want to see Israel gone. So he's already gotten rid of 85,000 visas, which I think is what those of us who voted for him wanted to see happen. And I think it's a good thing because honestly, when our founding fathers put together the Constitution, they were very, very suspicious of anyone who were not Americans who immigrated here, and they put some protections, especially for the presidency, in place so that no foreign born person could run for president of the United States. And I think that was a very, very smart thing on their part because the truth is that because we have so many people from all over the world in America, how can you tell if somebody who has immigrated to America is indeed an American at heart, right? They left their country, and the first um, obligation, the first priority, the first love is going to be their new adopted country. Not easy, not easy, especially nowadays because we have so many spies, so many people from other places who are sent here, right? From China, from Russia, from Afghanistan, from Somalia, so many other countries who want to take us down. Hello, Professor. Good to have you with us. So we're just talking about Trump getting revoking the visas in this country. Um, the visas for people who have demonstrated that they do not have a love of this country, even though this country is hosting them. And there's plenty. There's plenty. They have been mostly college professors or college students, and that's where a lot of these visas come from, right? Are the colleges. So, and we also we see a lot of these visas coming in the medical profession, right? We have a lot of exchange programs with physicians from other countries. So we have America has a great policy of letting people in. The problem is that up until now we haven't really been tracking people and seeing if they went home. And as I said, you know, it's wonderful to have immigration. It's wonderful. That's what made us who we are, right? The whole idea of America is that we are all people who came from somewhere else. We are the ones who, as Ronald Reagan said, if you live in France, it doesn't make you a Frenchman. If you live in Italy, it doesn't make you Italian. If you live in China, it doesn't make you Chinese. America is the only place where you can come here and live and become American. And we've lost sight of that somewhere along the line. And I don't even blame the migrants. I blame us, the Americans, because we don't demand the respect that we ought to have. We're not as proud of this country as we ought to be. This is the only place that you can truly have individual liberty. This is the only place in the world like it. And it's up to us to protect it. Hello, Kevin Young. Good to have you. And hello, James Atkins. Explain the phrase African American. You can't. You can't, because that hyphenation, James, that hyphenation destroyed us as Americans. There is an American culture. And it doesn't matter that we've had people from all over the place living here. I my background, my ancestry is Italian. I'm not Italian American. I'm American. I'm American with an Italian ancestry. And same with blacks or Africans. I mean, there are now American blacks who are people who have been in this country almost as long as the Pilgrims have, or their people have been, not the person, but their lineage goes back to just after the Mayflower. And then there are Africans who have migrated to this country, many of them, and different cultures, different experiences, different learning, different cultures. But to be able to celebrate your history, the culture from which you came, has always been an American thing. But at the end of the day, we are Americans. And I know my grandfather was so proud. He had the flag. He voted every election day. He sponsored others from Italy to come here, and he made us not speak Italian. He refused. My grandmother only wanted to speak Italian. My grandfather forbade it in his house. And it was a very interesting dynamic in the house, because we spoke English to my grandmother and she understood, and she spoke Italian to us. For the most part, we understood. Hello, Mama. Good to have you. I agree. It's absolute bullshit. Remember the African-American Brit a few years ago. I have to, you got to remind me of that. I can tell you that actress who played Raven, is that her name, Raven? She says it best. She was a child actress, and she says, no, I'm not African-American. I'm American. We shouldn't, when you put the hyphen in, which she said, and I'm really paraphrasing, and I hope I sound as intelligent as she does when I explain this to you. She said that if Blacks say I'm African American, it somehow makes them less of an American than other Americans. And she was not going to have that. She is as much or more American because her family has been here 200 years or 180 years, or I can't remember how many years she said, but for centuries. So she wasn't going to hyphenate her Americanism and harken it back to Africa, because she had no relation to Africa. I have a relation to Italy because my father was born there. I'm first generation Italian. But after a couple of generations, but I'm American first. But after a couple of generations, most people, let it go, and their culture, they adopted American culture. USA, I like you. I like you too, James Atkins. Thank you for being here with us. Tell Nigerian if you are Black, but you are African American, but you're from Syracuse. They will tell you that you're just American and shut the fuck up. Exactly. And that's what I was getting at with Raven. I know that's not her name. Oh gosh, I wish I could remember her name. But she was amazing. And it's true. I mean, there are Black people who are descendants of slaves who are they should be like the Daughters of the American Revolution, right? They are more American than I am, right? Because they've been here longer. So why would anybody want to hyphenate their Americanism? That makes me suspicious. And when we started saying that was okay, was when I think we started losing our pride in our country. When I was 5, I asked my grandmother, how come the Italian we spoke in the house was different from the Italians who were our neighbors? Oh, I've got to hear this. Go ahead, Professor. Tell me that you're Sicilian. And she said you weren't really Italian, because that's what my grandmother said. I know who you're talking about. It was an interview with Oprah, and she told her she was just American. I loved it. Yes, it was wonderful. I don't know if I stepped all over the professor's lines here, but my mother is Sicilian and my father is Neapolitan. And my grandmother, when we were kids, had introduced us a couple of times as her grandchildren, my brother and I, who were only half Italian, because they did not consider a Sicilian Italian, because it had been conquered so many times by different ethnicities, by Vikings, by Irish, by Scottish, but so did Italy, by Moors, but so did Italy. So yeah, that was her thing. We weren't really Italian. But at any rate, I wanted to talk a little bit about this whole revocation. And I don't know, probably a lot of people are not here tonight who are usually here because they're watching President Trump in Pennsylvania. I was going to bring that live on screen. I still can if you want, but and that's just fine. I have no problem whatsoever taking a backseat to President Trump's speech in Pennsylvania, because it's a speech about economics and affordability, and we need everybody to hear that. Romanucci's, Romanelli's, Romanos were our neighbors. Okay, well, that's northern Italy, I believe. Okay, so yeah. It's called Divide and Conquer. It was a political trap invented by Julius Caesar thousands of years ago. The libs have been trying it for years. Seems to be working through everybody, though everybody has to classify. And and that's a brilliant point, James. It's a brilliant point, because if you don't classify, they can't divide us. And that's why I think the MAGA movement, the Patriot movement, is so, so, so important, because we were on the verge of losing it all. We were on the verge of giving up our country. And I'm going to show you something. I want to try and pull it up here. Hold on a second. I want to be able to read it, and I don't think I can on my screen. I have to read it here. Yes, here I am. Okay, I can do it here. All right, so I'm going to show you this. I had posted a video on TikTok, and I hashtag Somalia, and I got an inbox message. I'm going to share it with you. Only thing with immigrants, they bring their country's politics over here and start defending their country, and not the U.S. That is the problem. Like Omar and others, they want us to live their ways and not the American ways. That may be true with the new immigrants, Kevin, but my grandfather refused to bring Italian politics over here. They were running from it. And I have Cuban friends who, the same, they were running for it. Chinese friends, Russian friends, they didn't want it. They didn't want those politics here. But the new migrants, these Somalians and like the Africans proper, I mean Nigerians, and well, you can't say proper because they're from everywhere, right? There's a lot of countries in Africa, but they're the new migrants, depending on where they're coming from, have left their the politics, and they want to be American. It's only the ones that are trying to snooker us, like Russians, new, Chinese, new, Afghanis, new, and Somalians. They're the ones that I have real problems with. There's others, I'm sure, but they're the ones I have real problems with. My dad always said Romanovsky is a good Irish name. That's fantastic. Yep, there's no such thing as being proud of your culture as an American. Right. But there is an American culture. Our culture is a little loud. It's very economy driven. Um, it's hamburgers, hot dogs, and pizza. Ironically, it's St. Patty's Day and Fourth of July and Columbus Day, and it's all kinds of other things. So America is it's a beautiful culture. Your mom would love our channel. Well, then share it with her. Josh, thank you for joining us, Joshua. I'm gonna, and apparently your mom has good taste. I'm gonna start following you. I like your conversation, and you have great thoughts, in my opinion. Thanks, James. Yeah, give us a subscribe and hit the bell, and then you'll be notified when we go live. And we go live from Sunday to Thursday at 8 p.m. I'm Southern. I get it. Okay, so I'm in South Carolina right now. Can you tell by my Southern accent? Born in Brooklyn, moved to Florida, spent 7 years in Florida, moved back to New York, to Staten Island, raised my kids there, and we always kept a summer home in South Carolina where my mom retired. And I have a great respect for the Southern culture, and I just love it. And I hate that so many Northerners are coming down here trying to change it. We're bopping into their head that they're not allowed to change it. They're welcome, but they can't change it. Agreed. Okay. Born in Little Rock, just left Tampa for Kansas City. Oh, Kansas City. Cool. Very cool. Little Rock, Arkansas. Okay. And you were in Tampa. What do you do for a living, James, that you pop around, or is it just a choice for retirement? Well, while you do that, I want you to see this inbox message when I tagged Somalia. Oh, you can read it. Okay, so I was talking about Minnesota having a fraud problem. And this guy writes, the U.S. claims to fight terrorism in Somalia, but builds military bases. London Fund, and he is Somalian. I guess he lives in London now, where a lot of people migrated to. So the U.S. claims to fight terrorism in Somalia, but builds military bases for their own gain. They bring destruction, fuel instability, and reject Somali refugees fleeing the chaos they created. This must end. Leave Somalia. I agree. We should get the fuck out of Somalia. And then so he gives all this propaganda. Somalia is one of the most, I don't want to read it all because I don't want to share his propaganda. But this last panel is what I want you to see. Hold on a second. Where is it? Share this message and let the world know the truth. Leave Somalia alone. This message is short, passionate, and impactful for a platform like TikTok. Use it with visuals or storytelling to spread awareness. Okay. I got a real fucking problem with that. A real problem with that. And the reason I brought it on the show is I know by recent truths, the president keeps on spelling Tish James's name wrong. He uses my spelling instead of hers. So a couple of the fans for this program go crazy. Oh, look, he's talking about your show, Leticia. He's not. He was talking about Tish James, but he knows that my name is spelled with a C and hers is spelled with a T. ITIA. But anyway, so to that message, just in case he's watching, President Trump or the FBI, I wrote back, America is the best country in the world. It's the most important country because it believes in human rights and individual liberty. Everyone is equal in America. The American economy supports many other countries. Those who disparage America want to see it fall because they want to exploit human beings for cheap labor. America stands in the way of that. America stands in the way of that because it defends human rights. If you are against America, you are against freedom for all. This message is short, impactful for TikTok. Share it with visuals. And then he writes back, America destroys many countries to get resources in the Middle East and Africa. USA only care the only people when come to another is not good. That's why people coming to the USA. I don't know if it's AI. I don't know if it's a bot, but is all I want to know. If you're listening, London Fun, fuck you. fuck you. You're right. America should get out of Somalia, leave you all alone, because you guys should get out of America, because you're not here to help America. You're here to drain it of its resources. And I'm about fed up with that kind of stuff. Let's see. I'm the director of sales for a large organization. Oh, great. Not everyone is entitled to be American, but they are blessed if they are American. Exactly. And that's what the show is about tonight. So let's just play this little clip here. Watch.
Thoughts on this announcement, essentially, from the State Department? Does it make sense to say if you are pro-political assassination and you are a foreigner, you have to leave the country?
I think there's always a balance to be had with the First Amendment. Obviously, the First Amendment offers broad protections, not just for American citizens, but foreigners on our soil. At the same time, there are even limits for American citizens, starting with incitement to violence, defamation, and direct threats. Visas are not a right given to foreign nationals. It is a privilege that is granted by the U.S. Department of State, and the State Department does have broad authorities to curb, revoke, deny those visa requests. I think it comes down to common sense. And if I could take a step back here, Governor Cox pointed out in his remarks, and I agree, that this is a concern. He pointed out that there are concerns about malign influence from our adversaries who want to see us fighting against one another. And I think, there's a long history of adversaries doing this to undermine the United States, to undermine our unity as a nation, going back to Soviet active measures. And what the internet has allowed to do, what social media has allowed them to do, and now even further with AI, now they are able to do this at large scale. And I think unreasonable to signal, at a minimum, to foreign nationals who have the privilege of being in our country that we don't appreciate, exploiting our freedom of speech, pitting us against one another. But at the same time, this is also, they can only exploit this if we allow it.
So James, basically she said every single thing that you came on and said tonight. So she actually was mimicking the things that you were saying, divide and conquer. If we allowed it, as you say, not everyone is entitled to be American. There is no such thing as hate speech. Agreed. There is no such thing as hate speech. But if you're here on a visa and you are saying that political violence is okay by you, I don't think you should be allowed to stay here. I don't think you should. If you're here to help America, not to change America. That's not your job as a refugee. It's not your job as an immigrant. It's not your job as somebody with a visa. When you come here, you're coming to our house. And Arnold Schwarzenegger says it best, that when you visit someone's house, you don't try to wreck it. You're not rude. You have to be on your best manners. And the people who are coming into this country lately are not on their best manners, and they are rude, and they are trying to wreck it. Because it is it's a focused action, what's going on now. The same as they focused on the UK, they are now focusing here to undermine us. They want to undermine the Western culture, and that we have to stop it. Pam Bondi is getting the boot from Trump if she doesn't start making arrests of Democrats. He is getting frustrated with her. I don't see him ever getting rid of her. I understand that. Look, he's a bull in a china shop, and he wants change, and he wants it now, and I get it. But you have to be able to not make a spectacle of yourself, right? half the problem, like today, all right, he's out in Pennsylvania talking about affordability. Yesterday, he was talking, he talked with farmers. And if you Google anything, if you Google news, the only thing you're going to see is negative Trump stuff. Fox never comes up. Neither does Newsmax. So the only things that you're going to see is the propaganda from the left in the media. And she knows that she has to be on strong footing, because look at what happened to Alina Habba. She had to resign. She had to resign her post. And she was the one who was prosecuting Comey and Tish James. So I mean, I know his truth, sounded tough. I got it. But he needs, we need to have strong footing here, because people they're not all our friends, right? We voted for Trump for just those reasons. Pam Bondi is in her position for a reason as well. And you may not like it, but she's the attorney general for the entire country, not just a Republican. You're absolutely right. And she's going to measure what she can do and what she can't do. And it's got to be successful, because you don't want, remember what they did with January 6th and also the hinky election in 2020. They said, the courts ruled this and then ruled that, and then there wasn't enough information, blah, blah, blah. So the news media just spun it as that Trump just lost every court battle, which wasn't the truth. Half of the cases weren't even heard. She's got to be smart. And I know that truth was that, I'll read the truth and you all can decide. When a monastic visits another monastery, the monastic does not bring his monastic rules and regulations with them. Rather, he adopts theirs during his stay. The perfect point. And that's what we should be expecting here. Remember Fast and Furious? Yes, I do, but I'm so bad with movies, so I can't. I don't know. Oh, you mean Fast and Furious, the operation, or the movie? Help! I don't know. Okay, what did I want to show you? I wanted to show you a couple things. I want to show you how crazy America is getting. This is Zohar Mamdani, New York City. He tapped an ex-con rapper who served 7 years for armed robbery as criminal justice advisor on the transition team. Okay. So I'm not mad about it. Let me tell you why I'm not mad about it. Because his ilk, the Socialist Democrats of America, are always getting on Trump as a convicted felon. Now we have a counterpoint. Okay. And quite frankly, how many Hollywood people have been in jail, and how many other people have been in jail? So I am not mad about it. That's all I got to say. Hello, Aunt Santa. Good to have you. Thank you for joining us. No, that was the problem with Obama's attorney general when they were selling guns to criminals in Mexico. Right. Oh, thank you very much. It's very dirty. That's why it's so flat. But thank you. All right. So we have a minute and a half left. I just wanted to tell you some things about Somalia compared to America. The GDP of Somalia is $12 to $13 billion. The GDP of America, $29 trillion. The GDP per capita of America, 86,000. In Somalia, 660 to $818. Okay, so $86,000 to $660 to $800. Unemployment rate in America, 4%. Somalia, 20%. Poverty rate in America, 10%. Somalia, 54%. Public safety. Let's see. Can I do this? Somalia crime index. America, United States, public safety. I don't know how to read this to you. But anyway, Somalia is much more dangerous than America. No kidding. So if anybody wants to tell me to America to get out of Somalia, I fucking agree. Excuse my language tonight, but I'm just so pissed. You people come here, including me and my father and my grandfather. We came here but we love this country. I would die for this country. I have served my country politically, governmentally. I will continue to serve this country till I draw my last breath. Those of you who are here to undermine our country, get the hell out. Love you all. I will see you tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Bye. Oh, everybody share the program with the people you